morning, everyone. I must say I'm a little nervous today. It's Mother's Day. My mom's here. Yay! At least I can get her to come to church once a year. So, so we are following our center's theme, and today we are talking about the value-led life. And our monthly theme is good to great to grand. And I just realized something. I have a happy Mother's Day. And mothers, as Avina was talking about, comes in all different forms. I have no physical human children, but I do have these children. So sometimes mothers are pet mothers or aunties or just that village mom who helps take care of the kid or the teachers. So we all have our own way. Even uncles and fathers are mothers too. Because I do know some families where the father is more nurturing than the mother. So they take more of the feminine energy. So as I was saying, our theme today is good to great to grand, and we're talking about the value-led life. And I saw this topic, I was like, how can I make this inspirational and uplifting and encourage people to really go out and see their best selves? And so we're exploring our core values and how to live them more fully. Nothing informs our activity of the world around us by our values. It is a space where our inner world is reflected in our outer presence. So where are your values leading you? What kind of reality are you creating with yourself? And going from good to great to grand, sometimes we need to pause, reflect, reassess what is really important to me. What is going on in my life right now? And what are my core values and how do they form my beliefs? For some, it might be freedom, health, peace. Others, it might be achievement and doing great things and wanting to be seen in the world and showing our successes. And some, it might just be planting a beautiful garden, building a pergola, or just being that stay-at-home mom. Some women want to be these big career women. Some women want to be stay-at-home moms. Some dads are stay-at-home dads. So it looks at all different ways. So by exploring our landscape, we could take stock of where we are in our process, and perhaps there's different values we want to aspire to. And looking at these values, we can live in new and powerful ways. We begin to have more clarity of who we are and the space and the reality I want to create. And by doing this, by creating what I want, I can show people how I want to be treated. I can show I have these values of kindness and loving, and someone who it might be really judgmental around me, I realize, God, that's not the energy I want in my life. And this way we can live more authentically in what we do. And I forgot about this. This is my boyfriend when I was 20. He's a photographer, and actually he's a doctor, and photography is his side passion, nature photography. And I meant to have this up when I was doing my little intro, but this is in Seattle, and that's his house in Issaquah. And that was the Aurora Borealis 2 nights ago. Yeah, so these are actual, the sun, from the sun storms. So, sorry, I meant to have that up. I know. I have another one at the end. I was actually going to go online because I like to talk about what's happening in our world. And I was going to go online to see some people who posted on the internet. And all of a sudden I remember, I bet he has something on his Instagram. And so I went and I got permission from him to show it. But anyway, okay, I'm sorry, Nancy. There'll be more, I promise. So Richard Rohr says in his book, Falling Upwards, there must be, if we're honest, there will always be at least one situation in our lives that we cannot fix, control, explain, change, or even understand. And that's our opportunity to really go, ooh, what are my values here? And I know many of you have listened to me. Oh, well, actually, there's some new people here. Hello, new people. I've been talking about how where I've worked for the last 26 years, just it up and closed. It's been 6 weeks now. Isn't that crazy? And I realized that I had a different set of values. When I was writing this, I was really reflecting on what's gone on in my life and how have my values changed. And I realized when I was working there, I was really about work, work, and being successful and just really on the go. And the last 6 weeks, I realized, gosh, I really don't want to do that much anymore. I don't want to work that hard anymore. I want to work smarter, not harder. And so I've really been doing some self-exploration and uncovering my limiting beliefs about this, and realizing that as I'm uncovering this, I'm kind of releasing myself from these blocks that I've imposed. And so I was very productive and stable and secure and had good work ethic, was super important to me. But I'm realizing that I'm depleted. My energy's been really depleted. I'm not sleeping. I wasn't sleeping well. And in being so active, one of my values is good health and strength. But by working so hard, I wasn't honoring that. I wasn't really being authentic with myself. And so, yes, that closed, as Richard said, beyond my control. I had no control to keep that tennis center open. As much as I begged and pleaded and prayed, there's now huge fences around it, and it just really makes me sad. But in releasing that, I realized, like, wow, my values had changed. And now I want to be more nurturing to myself and more loving to myself and not always so busy. And so I'm replacing, in this discovery, I'm replacing these beliefs and thoughts that really didn't serve me anymore. Now they're not serving me. Before I thought they were great. And so I'm living in this space, and really, I was supposed to be at the circle yesterday with Vinu, but I chose to take a nap. But that was something in the past, I would have been like, one of my values is I must keep my commitments. But I made a self-honoring choice, and I decided to take a nap yesterday instead of going. And as much as I miss them, I realized that today am much better off, because I would have come home and frantically tried to finish this and come today completely frazzled. So Richard Rohr says in that book, Falling Up, in the second half of life, people have less power to infatuate you, but they also have much less power to control or hurt you. It's the freedom of the second half to not need. And I didn't think I was any less, that I was going to be disliked because I missed the circle. And I realized that in the past I would have been like, oh, they're going to be so mad at me, I'm not keeping my commitments. But instead, I kept my commitment to myself. And releasing the weight of my past limiting belief and judgments, it frees me to rise up in faith, which is a mental assertion elevated to the plane of realization. And that's what Ernest says in our Bible, The Science of Mind, on page 283. So I really realized that I can go deeper into my faith by taking time for myself. And as a recovering workaholic, that's been a huge eye-opener for me, to just really stand in my freedom of not being a doer. So, wait, I don't want to do that one yet. So, where is it? So what are some of your core values? Here's a little list. Is there anything that calls to you? Anyone? What's the core value? Someone?
Spirituality.
What is it?
Spirituality.
Spirituality. Anyone else have one?
Love.
Love, I like that one.
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Creativity, yeah. Loyalty, yeah.
Self-respect.
Self-respect, yeah, I like that one too.
Community.
Community, yeah, here we are. So what I have for us is I printed up a list, and I printed some, so if anyone wants it, and for you to just go home and find 15 that really calls to you, and then narrow it down to 5. And just see, how am I utilizing these in my life? If one of my core values is health, how am I doing that? That pint of ice cream I ate the other day was not supporting that health. Thinking about going to the gym the other day was not supporting that. Why didn't I go to the gym? Because I was so tired from working. Well, there's something out of alignment there. Being of service. Oh, I really want to be of service. how can that fit in my life? I know a lot of service organizations that would love people like us to come to their center and help. So we take our values, and there's different ways we can really activate them in our lives. And I am using the notes we get little cliff notes the home office sends, and whoever wrote them, usually I take a quote, one or two quotes from them, but the person who wrote this, I didn't see the name of it because I got it from Reverend Mike, but she did such a wonderful, or he or she, did such a wonderful job that I'm using a lot of her notes today. So how can we activate values in our life? Well, attention. As I said, where are we paying attention in our life? Where we place our attention plays a vital role in the process of discovering and living from our values. Where we direct our energy and attention determines what we perceive, experience, and ultimately prioritize in our life. I really want to prioritize health. That's why I keep bringing up. That's my intention. By consciously focusing our attention on the aspect that aligns with our values, we become more attuned to things that truly matter to us. It allows us to filter out the distractions, the noises that we often encounter in life, enabling us to make choices and take actions that are in line with our authentic selves. So it's really my intention to focus my attention on certain values. I'm really happy that this talk came up this week because it's really making me ponder and reflect on these. And do I have this? Oh, wrong way. I have them out of order. Look, I'm like Reverend Mike. He does this every now and then. If you think of life as flowing through your every action, you will soon discover that the things you give your attention to are quickened with new energy. So there's this power in the universe, whether it's divine feminine, divine masculine, or neutral. There's this power that we can use in our life to really activate our values. And the other thing to help is passion. Passion. Understanding the things that stir passion within us. For all of you who missed Reverend Nancy's 9 o'clock sermon this morning, she was full of passion, full of energy. And just watching her speak just really lifts me and fills my heart with love because she is so passionate when she gets up here and talks. So it was wonderful. Our passions are the powerful currents that flow through our being, guiding us towards experiences that bring us joy and meaning. So as most of you know, I never set out to become a minister. I just took classes, and I loved the classes. There was cool stuff to learn, and I kept learning about this power and faith and how releasing my judgments about things and how things just got in line, next thing lined up. And then I took this class. I got my master's at USM in spiritual psychology, and then I found this place, and then this door opened, and I took this class, and next thing I knew, I was in ministerial school. It wasn't my intention to go to ministerial school, but my passion for our teaching and just this, just everything that we've learned in our teachings, it just drives me. So next thing I know, here I am. Who knew? So our beliefs serve as foundation upon which our values are built, shaping the way we perceive ourselves, others, and the world around us. Our systems of belief influence our thoughts, actions, and decisions. Our beliefs are those deeply ingrained ideas and principles that influence our understanding of what is important, meaningful, and true. Well, here's an interesting thing. When I was younger, I had the belief that my mom had never seen snow. So the first time I went to see snow, so I took a snowball and I put it in my pocket. And I went back to see her, and it was melting, and next thing I knew, I had water. But my belief was that she had never seen snow, and I had to show it to her. And so, but now as I've gotten older, I've realized some of my childhood beliefs, I mean, they believed the world was flat at one point, and then the sun went around the earth. So beliefs change, and that's what's really important, is that as our beliefs change and we learn new things, our values can change. I've been reading a book by Robert Waterman, who states, beliefs create the illusion that life is fixed or static, when life is actually a continuous, ever-changing flow of experience. So it's really important that as we change our beliefs and have these new experiences, that we continue to flow. These beliefs I created were great survival strategies as a child, but now as I'm growing, I can see they are no longer leading me to this good, great, grand life, and they're holding me back. So by creating blocks in my life, it's time for me to say thank you for them. They served me, and I need to release them. And a lot of times I do a lot of self-forgiveness, like the judgments and the beliefs I thought about myself, about I'll never find a man, or what kind of man would want someone like me, and that protected me from being hurt, but now it's not serving me. So doing a lot of self-forgiveness, that's a great way for us to release any limiting beliefs and say thank you and send it to the nothingness from whence it came. The person who did the cliff notes for the talk, they said, living from the space, our values begin working in alignment with what we know to be true about ourselves. This elevated mental state enables us to transform our values into tangible realities, empowering us to live in alignment with our deepest convictions and principles. Embracing these understandings allow us to shed the weight of the past and be co-creators of the life that resonates with our authentic selves. How does that sound? Being a co-creator and living in our authentic selves. Is there values that you feel or beliefs that you feel that need to be released? Learning to live from our values is a transformative journey of self-discovery and alignment. It begins by understanding the areas on which we focus our attention and energy. By consciously directing our energies towards pursuits that resonate with our values, we create a life that is in alignment with who we are. Exploring and embracing our passions allow us to tap into the wellspring of inspiration and joy within us. When we align our actions with our passions, we infuse our life with purpose and fulfillment. Understanding and clarifying our beliefs help us navigate the world with integrity and authenticity. By identifying our core values and aligning our thoughts, words, and deeds with them, we establish a strong foundation for living in harmony with our true self. By aligning these elements, attention, passion, and belief, we embark on a transformative path towards a value-led life, where our actions and choices reflect our deepest truth, enabling us to authentically and experience a profound awareness and growth. This alignment creates an inevitable movement from God, from good to great to grand, as we recognize and activate our values in both individual and collective experience. It's, as I was saying sooner, as we work on ourselves, all of a sudden the universe just kind of matches us, and some people drift away and new people come in, and more drift away and more new people come in. As the alchemist of your own life, find a bit of the frequency you want to experience and place your attention there. As it becomes your perception, live from there. That's Michael Beckwith. So we have the ability, alchemists. I like this photo I found because it's fire, and I think of fire and passion uniting and changing. So Nancy, this is for you. There you go. So this is more of his photography. And his value, he loved backpacking. I hated backpacking. He's probably one of the most brilliant men I ever dated. And our values just didn't quite line up. Actually, I went on a date the other day, and he showed up, and he was wearing really nice shoes, slacks, and a blazer. And I was wearing Levi's, a blouse, and sandals. And then he went on later. He was really nice. We went and had sushi. I was quite impressed with sushi. I'm like, wow, that's really impressive. And he went on to tell me how he spent $20,000 on a new wardrobe. And I'm like, I don't think I spent $20,000 on my wardrobe ever. So it was a nice one date, and I realized our values were not in alignment. One thing about Ben, though, is that we do both love nature. He just likes hiking in it and backpacking and being out all night in it. I don't mind our little picnic at the park, but the backpacking and squatting behind a tree does not excite me. But he did say something when I asked for permission from him to use his photos. He did say, I love the sense of awe that natural events like auroras, eclipse, or a spectacular sunset provides us. It's one of the few things that can really unite us regardless of our belief or backgrounds. That's what I value. So that's what he said. And then I'm going to finish the talk today with how Reverend Nancy started her talk this morning. And that is Reverend Nancy, in her full passion, said, I was reading the 365 Ernest Holmes today, and Ernest said this today. As I attune myself to the perfection of God, it flows through me. It dissipates all the obstructions of my everyday life, transforming all confusion into love and beauty. So as we listen to ourselves and we see the perfection of God, anything that is obstructing us, our everyday life, is going to transform all that upset, confusion, limiting beliefs, judgments into love and beauty. And so it is.